Congratulations to you, the chosen one. Your suffering has finally been banished with no chance of return. Absorb this truth. 4 years, you faced a hell that seemed eternal. You endured constant torment, conflicts that appeared endless, and challenges that made you wonder if God had lost your trace. But here is a truth few people reveal. Even the darkest periods have an expiration date. Psychological studies show that the human mind holds onto the scars of suffering far longer than memories of happiness. Pain lingers, resonates, insists on repeating itself. Yet, in the spiritual realm, reality is quite different. When a chosen one surpasses their breaking point, the pain loses all right to accompany them into the next chapter. What afflicted you in the past does not have permission to invade your future. And now, here is the irony. The forces of evil believed you were bound by an eternal contract of suffering. They thought you would remain a prisoner of pain, automatically renewed like a streaming service subscription billed without notice. But God pressed the stop button, and no matter how much they insist, your affliction will not resume. This is not just hope. It is the truth. You have overcome the trial. The pact is broken. The pattern is destroyed. What was meant to bury you had only one purpose: to prove you are indestructible. What tried to destroy you cannot restart its cycle. Patterns only work on those who have not yet been restored. After passing through the flames and resisting what would have made so many others succumb, the cycle itself loses its power. The reason it seemed so cruel and unceasing is that it wasn't just a single blow. It was a deliberate attempt by the enemy to lock you in a loop of anguish, failure, and despair. Cycles of pain are designed to exhaust people until they lose the will to fight. But the reality is clear. You shattered that pattern by resisting longer than it could last. This phase was not random. It was carefully orchestrated to seem endless. Perhaps you noticed how the pain repeated itself, disguised in different forms? Successive betrayals, accumulated losses, constant obstacles? This was not the work of chance. It was a spiritual strategy. Darkness feeds by recycling suffering. If a tactic works against you, it is used repeatedly until it breaks you. But when you did not yield, something shifted in the spiritual plan. The cycle collapsed in on itself, reflected back. How many times did the same lesson reappear in your life under a new disguise? How many times did you ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? This repetition existed because the enemy believed that sooner or later, you would give in to the pattern. But the moment you resisted long enough without breaking, the pattern was annihilated at its source. This is why it can never return with the same intensity. Survivors carry a unique authority, not only because they escaped destruction, but because their spirit is now immunized. You did not just defeat what tried to annihilate you. You exhausted it, drained its energy, and it has nothing left to feed on in your life. The pain had a purpose, and you fulfilled it. This is why you will never have to walk that path again. The pact of pain is over. It is finished because suffering always comes with conditions, even if you don't see them. Nothing you faced was eternal, even if it seemed so. Every trial has an objective, a limit, and a deadline set in the spiritual realm before it touches your life. If it lasted so long, it was because there were lessons, strengths, and revelations that needed to solidify over time. When you internalized them, when you became the person you were meant to be through all of this, the pact lost its validity. It could not extend itself nor demand more from you. Imagine suffering as a trial in an invisible courtroom. Every struggle you faced followed precise rules. The permission granted to the enemy to touch aspects of your life was never unlimited. There was a limit. The tears you shed, the prayers you whispered in exhaustion, the nights you almost gave up, everything was recorded in this pact. And when the allotted time expired, the case against you was closed. This is why you now feel a shift, a liberation, a relief you can't quite explain. It is not luck, it is not coincidence, it is a spiritual law. The worst lie that pain sells you is that it will never end. This lie is designed to weaken you, to make you crack before crossing the finish line. But because you resisted beyond the point where many break, you discovered the clause that pain hides until the right moment. And that moment has arrived. The pact has been fulfilled in your life, and it cannot be renewed. This is why your future will not resemble your past. Even if the enemy wanted to bring back the same devastation, it no longer has legal permission. You have served your sentence. You have paid the price, and heaven has recorded it as finished. What once had the power to invade your life has been stripped of all rights to reach you again. Your pain did not defeat you. You defeated it. The pact of pain is over because you emerged from this phase with wisdom, not defeat. And since it is closed, you will never again face that same pain. The debt of your lineage has been paid by you. This is why your suffering seemed heavier than that of others around you. Part of the burden you carried did not belong to you. It was inherited. Families pass down more than names, customs, or traditions. They also pass down unhealed wounds, unresolved struggles, and patterns of destruction that silently ruin generation after generation. Someone, at some point, must pay the price to stop this. And that someone was you. This is why your battle seemed disproportionate to your life. Perhaps you looked around and asked, "Why do I have to carry so much when I've done nothing to deserve it?" The truth is, you were chosen to be the one who ends it all, the one who stands in the center and declares, "It stops with me." Your pain was not only about you. It aimed to free future generations. When a lineage carries an outstanding debt, it demands payment in various forms. For some, it manifests as persistent poverty, relationships that always collapse, or illnesses that reappear in every generation. But when a chosen one shoulders this burden, all that weight is placed on them, because they are strong enough to bear it. And by surviving, the cycle is broken forever. This is exactly what happened in your life. The crises, the betrayals, the constant pressure were not just meaningless sufferings. They were the final settlement of inherited debts that needed to be resolved. You were the channel who passed through the flames, and by resisting, you settled what your ancestors could not. This is why those who come after you will not feel the same bitterness. Their path will be lighter because you cleared it. That is why your life will never repeat that same torment. You did not just face personal challenges. You represented your entire lineage. And now, for having resisted without collapsing, your lineage has been renewed. The debt has been erased. The curse has been broken, and you are free to live a future no longer chained to the past. What belonged to generations of suffering stops here because you survived. The pain you endured has been transformed. Merely resisting could have left you wounded and scarred, still vulnerable to the same cycle of suffering. But you did something far rarer. You converted the poison meant to destroy you into an irreversible strength. This is the secret of the chosen ones. You did not just face the fire. You let it reshape you until it lost its power. Every betrayal, every loss, every humiliation was designed to fill your soul with bitterness, to keep you small, angry, and defeated. But instead of letting it eat away at you from the inside, you transformed it into wisdom. You learned to spot falsehood before it reveals itself, to detect danger before it materializes, and to protect your soul without closing your heart. This transformation is definitive. What could hurt you before no longer reaches you because it no longer matches the version of you that emerged from the flames. This is how transformation manifests in the life of a chosen one. Pain does not remain trauma, it becomes authority. Sleepless nights turn into discernment. Loneliness becomes depth. Tears become clarity. Even shame has been transformed into a shield that makes you invulnerable where you were once fragile. The weight that nearly crushed you became the training that developed your spiritual muscle. This is why you no longer have to fear the return of that old suffering. You didn't just escape it. You assimilated it. The venom can no longer kill you because your system already knows how to transform it into remedy. The enemy no longer has the power to wound you with the same weapons, for they have been dismantled and converted into your tools. Your pain has been transformed into something eternal. What once hunted you is now your protector. This is why it will never return in the same form. You have not only survived, you have redefined the rules of the battlefield. And now, whatever comes against you will have to face the fortified version of you, forged by suffering. The enemy has exhausted its last tactic against you. This is why your suffering seemed like a war without truce, without pause, without respite. It was not an illusion. It was truly hell unleashing its entire arsenal against you. Every blow, every trap, every betrayal, every attack against your mind, body, and soul was the culmination of years of accumulated rage with one goal: your annihilation. The intensity was not accidental, it was calculated. They thought that by throwing everything at once, You would collapse and never get up again. But they did not account for the presence of God in you. This phase seemed like the end because the enemy was convinced it would be the end. They did not use simple distractions, but their most deadly and precise weapons. The betrayals were more cutting, the losses more devastating, the spiritual warfare more oppressive than anything you had known before. You were not facing ordinary pressures. You were under a concentrated attack, targeting every fear and every weakness they thought they could exploit to destroy you. And yet, here you are. This survival itself reveals something fundamental. Their arsenal is empty. What the enemy does not want you to realize is that these attacks are not unlimited. There is not an infinite stockpile of new strategies. Evil recycles what works, but when it fails, the power of that tactic collapses. This is why everything came at once. It was their last card, their final attempt. They wanted to eliminate you before you progressed, knowing that if you survived, you would no longer be reachable in the same way. Now that you have overcome this, there are no sharper weapons left. What was meant to destroy you has actually revealed you. Their last tactic did not take you down. It exposed you. It showed that your spirit is indestructible, that your calling cannot be cancelled, and that your destiny cannot be stolen. What they planned for your end only revealed your immortality in God. This is why you can move forward with confidence. If the worst they had did not take you, nothing lesser ever will. The enemy used its last ammunition, and you are still here, breathing, advancing, chosen. Your survival has elevated you beyond their reach. This is why your life feels different now. Even if you can't quite explain it, you are not just stronger. You are on a whole other level. The same environment, the same people, the same traps may still exist, but they can no longer reach you as before. Spiritually, you have been elevated. You no longer vibrate at the frequency where pain had access to you. This is why old situations don't pull you back. Old temptations seem empty, and old attacks no longer hurt like they used to. You have outgrown them. Pain operates at certain vibrations. When you were vulnerable, broken, or unaware of your power, those vibrations were open. This is why it seemed like suffering found you constantly, but by resisting and surviving, your own survival changed your energy. You have matured, your discernment has sharpened, your spirit has expanded. What once affected you now seems strange, like a noise you can no longer even tune into. This is why those who once had influence over you no longer recognize the new version of you. They may try the same tactics, use the same words, or set the same traps, but it's as if they are aiming at a ghost. Their arrows do not hit because you are no longer in that place of fragility. Your survival has led you into a new dimension, and in that dimension, they no longer have access to you. Think of all the times recently they tried to provoke you and failed, or the storms that once would have destroyed you and now barely shake you. This is not a coincidence. It is proof that you are out of their reach. Spiritually, you have left their atmosphere, and they are still stuck below, scratching at emptiness. This is why you never have to fear returning to what broke you. That pain no longer exists at your current level. You can see it, remember it, but it can no longer reach you. No matter how hard they try to pull you down, they are like hunters shooting into an empty sky. You are simply no longer there. Your survival has transformed your mind into a defense system. This is one of the greatest gains of having overcome what was meant to destroy you. At first, the trauma took you by surprise. It hit you in places you didn't know were fragile and opened wounds whose existence you were unaware of. It broke you because you had no protection against it. But survival does not leave you unchanged. It recalibrates your interior. Now, your mind is no longer vulnerable in the same way. Every attack you faced taught you to detect danger before it settles, lies before they seem true, and darkness before it disguises itself as light. What went unnoticed before now triggers an alarm in your chest. You sense betrayal before the mask falls, manipulation before the strings are pulled, and destruction before the cracks appear. This is not paranoia. It is your mind developing your defenses. Just as a body fights a disease more quickly after being exposed to it, your mind has developed a resistance to the forces that try to crush you, and this resistance is permanent. This is why you will never face that same suffering again. The trauma did not just wound you, it taught you. It restructured your discernment. The lessons were not lost. They recreated your soul with a wisdom and resilience that cannot be forgotten. You no longer accept what you once tolerated, and you no longer ignore the signs you once overlooked. Your mind's defense system now filters out what has no place. The enemy hates this more than anything. Before, it could surprise you with known tactics. But now, every move seems predictable. What once devastated you can no longer even scratch you, because your soul instantly rejects it. Even the idea of falling back into old cycles makes your spirit recoil. This is not fear, it is defense. It is the mark of someone who has survived and emerged transformed. Your suffering has built something eternal within you, a protection mechanism that keeps you safe without you having to struggle as much as before. You will no longer fall into the same traps, because your own mind will block them before they reach you. The trauma that once broke you is now your greatest defense. What was meant to annihilate you has become your leap. This is why you will never be seen the same way in the spiritual realm. The attacks do not just stop when you overcome them. They leave a mark, a signature that identifies you as untouchable. Darkness recognizes when it fails and respects that failure. In a particular way, every attempt on your life, every trap, every betrayal, every near end should have silenced you forever. But the fact that you emerged alive means that those forces have marked you with an invisible seal that cannot be erased. This seal is not something you display, but it is undeniable in how life now reacts to you. The enemy knows you are no longer a target for destruction. You have been tested at the highest level, and because you survived, you carry a spiritual signature that proclaims, "This one is marked." This mark is a recognition in the invisible that what once had power over you no longer does. It is not that new challenges will not come, but none of them will be able to reach you like the last one. The seal is the proof that the enemy's fiercest attempt failed, and because of that failure, it has forever lost its rights over your destiny. This is why the chosen ones walk with a silent authority. They do not need to prove themselves. Their survival already has. You may not realize it, but every step you take carries the weight of this testimony. Your existence now speaks louder than words. I am still here. And in spiritual terms, being here after all that was launched against you is not just survival, it is victory. The seal also changes how heaven perceives you. Angels, favor, and divine protection respond differently to someone who has passed through the fire and emerged intact. God Himself allows this seal to be the proof of your covenant with Him. It is not something earned by perfection, but engraved upon you by survival. So understand this. What tried to destroy you is now your eternal proof. What was destined to bury you has become the certificate of your authority. And because you bear this seal, darkness recognizes you as the one it could not destroy and can never possess again. You have overcome what it thought was impossible. This truth sets you apart in a way that common logic cannot explain to you. It is not just about surviving adversity. It is about emerging from situations whose history says no one returns from. You carried a pain that should have left you broken forever, wounds that should have defined your entire life, and circumstances that should have buried you long ago. But instead of being erased, you became the exception. Your own existence defies the predictions made about you. There are experiences people speak of in hushed tones, knowing most do not recover from them. Betrayals so deep they steal trust. Losses so heavy they destroy the will to live. A pressure so suffocating it kills identity from within. You did not face just one of them. You faced them in an unrelenting, almost consecutive series. By all calculations, you should not be standing again. And yet, here you are, not only alive but thinking, acting, building, growing. This is not a coincidence. It is a declaration that you do not follow the same rules as others. What nearly buried you is now the proof that you cannot be buried. They expected your story to end in your collapse, but your ascent revealed the limits of their understanding. They thought you were weak, but your resistance told another story. They believed you were finished, but your spirit had chapters they could not see. Even the enemy underestimated you, thinking that throwing the impossible in your path would guarantee your silence forever. Instead, you transformed that impossible into proof of God's hand in your life. Now, your presence is unsettling. It disturbs people because you should not be here, not this solid after what you have been through. You have become living proof that survival is not just about breathing, it is about defying the laws of destruction. And for having overcome the impossible, you have entered a category where common rules no longer apply. The darkness that tried to bury you can never do so again, because it has already used its most powerful weapons and failed. You are the exception that cannot be erased. You are the survivor who has become untouchable. Your story has reached the divine court, and that changes everything. There are moments in life when the suffering you carry is not only personal. It is spiritual evidence presented before heaven itself. Every tear, every betrayal, every injustice has been recorded, catalogued, and weighed on heavenly scales. This is why things seem to drag on beyond what was necessary, because heaven was compiling a complete record. But when that record was finalized, the verdict was rendered. The case against you was closed, and closed forever. Suffering has a divine deadline. As endless as it may have seemed, it was never eternal. Heaven allowed it for a time not to destroy you, but to purify you, expand you, reveal what was hidden within you. But when that purpose was achieved, the permission reached its limit. And unlike the human system where cases can be reopened, retried, or prolonged by manipulation, the divine court does not work that way. Its decision is final, and when it declares something finished, no celestial or infernal force can overturn it. This is why you will never repeat this phase. It was not human compassion that freed you. It was not chance that saved you. It was the divine verdict. God himself struck the gavel and said, "Enough." What had permission to reach you no longer has a legal foundation. The enemy cannot reuse the same destruction against you because heaven has declared it invalid. In spiritual terms, the case file has been sealed with the inscription, "Closed." This is why your life feels different now. It is not just a change in circumstances. It is a complete transformation of the spiritual atmosphere around you. The sentence has been served, the verdict has been rendered, the chains have been broken, and since the decision comes from the highest authority in existence, there is no appeal, no loophole, no shortcut. You walk in a freedom guaranteed not by luck, but by judgment. And the beauty of it all is your story. It is now evidence in the heavenly records that God protects his chosen ones. You are not only free, you are justified. And because the verdict comes from God himself, you can move boldly into your future knowing this truth. This phase is finished forever. You have not only been tested, you have been initiated. This distinction is crucial because trials end with an evaluation, but initiation ends with a new identity. The suffering you endured was not a series of aimless misfortunes. It was a spiritual initiation into a higher level of authority. A quest that required you to endure things few would survive. You were being shaped, prepared, and elevated into a realm where ordinary strength is not enough. This is why your pain was so specific, so personal, and so intense. It was the price for becoming who you were destined to be. Initiation is never gentle. It tears away illusions, undoes false comforts, and exposes your deepest weaknesses to transform them into strength. This is what your pain did. It did not just try to break you, it recreated you. The fire was your testing ground where resistance turned into authority and survival into a spiritual patent. And once you pass through that fire, you do not return to the furnace. No one is initiated twice. This is why your life has changed so much. You have not just gone through a difficult phase. You have passed through a portal. You have entered a spiritual weight you could not carry before. This is why you see differently, you discern differently, and you even move differently. The pain removed what was superficial and left you with what is eternal. It has turned your scars into keys of access, proving you have paid a price few would pay. The suffering you faced was not random, it was the currency of authority. Every sleepless night, every tear, every betrayal was a tribute you had to offer to enter this new level of existence. And now, because the price has been paid in full, you will never face that same initiation again. This chapter is sealed, and you bear the mark of someone who passed through the fire and conquered their place. You have not only been tested to prove something, you have been initiated to become something. And now that you have become, it cannot be undone. The pain has crowned you with authority, and authority never reverts to ashes. You have passed through the portal, and there is no going back. Your enemies have been exhausted by your survival. What they launched against you was not an ordinary blow. It cost them energy. Every plan they drew, every word spoken against you, every trap they set drained their own vitality. Darkness never gives power without cost. It always demands something in return. And while they thought they were trading your peace for their power, In reality, they were exhausting themselves trying to destroy someone they could not. 4 years, they invested energy, time, and obsession into your downfall. They planned, conspired, and wore themselves out to ensure you would not get back up. But survival has a way of ruining your enemies. The more you resisted, the more their resources depleted. The fact that you are still standing means all their investments failed, and now they are empty-handed, tired, weakened, and frustrated by the futility of their efforts. This is why they cannot repeat what they did. They no longer have the energy to confront you again. Their words have lost their force, their tactics have lost their effect, and their alliances have collapsed under the weight of their failure. Spiritually, they are exhausted. They spent their greatest energy trying to destroy you, and it did not work. What remains for them now is bitterness. But bitterness has no fuel to sustain another war. This is the hidden beauty of your survival. It not only preserved you, it dismantled them. Every time they thought they were weakening you, they were exhausting themselves further. Every plan backfired on them in the long run. Not because you were unaffected, but because you refused to stay down. You became stronger, and they became weaker. Now, they look at you and realize something terrifying. They have nothing left to use against you. They cannot repeat the same strategy, and they lack the creativity to invent something new. They are spiritually bankrupt, drained by their own obsession with your defeat. This is why the war against you is over. You have not only overcome the attacks. By surviving, you have stripped them of the power they thought they had. You are standing, and they are exhausted. The memory of your victory now torments them. This memory is a prison stronger than anything you could create. Your enemies do not just remember their actions. They remember the outcome. They recall the nights they plotted, the words they used against you, the traps they set, and the certainty that this time they had defeated you. They were convinced you would not rise again. But that certainty has been replaced by an inescapable truth. You overcame everything. Your survival is not just a victory for you, it is torture for them. Every time they think of you, they are forced to relive the failure of their plan. The human mind does not easily forget humiliation, and nothing is more humiliating than seeing someone thrive after attempting to destroy them. The image of your resilience, the memory of their failure, is engraved in them. It lights up silently in their dreams, in the conversations they cannot finish. They live with the certainty that their best was not enough to annihilate you. This is why the idea of confronting you again terrifies them. On the surface, they may speak boldly, but deep down, fear dominates them. Fear of losing more time, fear of another failure, fear of confirming that you are indestructible. Even if they tried, the memory of their last defeat would paralyze them before they could act. This memory is their own punishment. It keeps them prisoner in hesitation, unable to launch another war. Your survival has become their nightmare. It resonates louder than any word you could say, louder than any reproach you might seek. You do not need to pursue them, defend yourself, or counterattack, because their own minds are doing the work for you. They are tormented not only by what they did, but by the undeniable fact that it did not work. This torment steals their desire to try again. While you have moved forward, healed, and grown, they remain stuck in the shadow of your victory. This is their prison now, and no matter how much they want to escape it, they cannot. For the memory of your survival is the reminder of their greatest failure, and that failure follows them everywhere. Your life has entered the aftermath. This phase often feels unreal. For so long, surviving was your routine. You were used to rebuilding, preparing for the next blow, living in the attention of a constant fight. But that cycle is over. You are no longer in recovery mode. You have moved into revelation. The scars no longer bleed. They have solidified into symbols of authority. The burden you carried is now the proof that you were chosen for something far greater than mere resistance. You were chosen to manifest. What makes this phase unique is that it is no longer about struggling to survive. It is about revealing who you have become in the flames. The version of you that exists now could not have emerged without the crushing, the breaking, and the elimination of the old you. This is why this phase will not repeat itself. Recovery is temporary, but revelation is eternal. You were not destined to go in circles on the same battlefield. This war was never your permanent home. It was a passage. And now, You have entered into what it consecrated you for. When a soldier returns from war, they do not go back to the same trenches. Their survival qualifies them for honor, respect, and new missions. Spiritually, the same has happened for you. The battle is over, and your survival is the seal that says, "This one has been tested, proven, and validated." Now, the crown you wear is not made of gold. It is made of the authority with which you now walk, the wisdom no school can teach you, and the resilience no circumstance can steal. You will never face this phase again because it was not made to be repeated. It was a furnace with a single purpose, to forge you. Fire makes someone untouchable by the same flame. And now, every step you take in this aftermath is a step toward manifestation. People will begin to see the revealed strength, the radiance, and the power of someone who passed through what was meant to destroy them and emerged crowned. This is not recovery, it is revelation. It is not the aftermath of a defeat, it is the aftermath of a triumph. And henceforth, your life is the proof that what was meant to bury you simply positioned you for your consecration. You have weathered storms meant to destroy you, endured conflicts that seemed endless, and faced attacks that should have buried you. And yet, here you are, alive, unshakable, and crowned by the fire that tried to consume you. Every moment of suffering, every betrayal, every obstacle served a design greater than mere survival. It was not just about enduring pain, but about converting it into wisdom, authority, and an untouchable spirit. What tried to annihilate you is now the proof of your invincibility. The cycles that once haunted your life have been destroyed. The pacts of suffering have expired, and the debts of your lineage have been settled. Your enemies are exhausted, tormented by their own failure, while your spirit remains fortified by an unshakable immunity and resilience. The fire was never meant to be permanent. It was a crown in disguise, and now you wear it fully. You are no longer in recovery. You are in revelation. You operate at a level where the old attacks, the old pains, and the old cycles can no longer reach you. What was your trial is now your testimony, engraved in eternity and sealed by God Himself. From this moment on, nothing can repeat what you have overcome. You have passed through the portal of initiation, traversed the divine court, and emerged as someone untouchable. Your life is living proof that destruction can be transformed into dominion, and that the forces destined to bury you have become the foundations of your authority. So rise up in the aftermath of your triumph. Walk boldly toward your future, knowing that you carry a spiritual seal no enemy can break. Let every step be a proclamation that the impossible has been defeated. Your journey through the fire was never in vain. It was the creation of a chosen one. And the world will now see what emerges from someone who faced the unthinkable and emerged crowned. This is your moment. This is your revelation. You are finished with the suffering that tried to define you, and henceforth every phase of your life will reflect the authority, strength, and triumph that only a chosen one can carry. If this message resonates with you, do not let it stop there. Subscribe to the channel and join a community of chosen ones reclaiming their power. Walk in victory and break the cycles that were not meant to define you. Click the like button to confirm that you recognize your own strength and authority, and leave a comment to share your story, because your journey can inspire someone else to overcome the impossible. Share this video with those who need to be reminded that what tried to destroy them has already been defeated. Every subscription, every like, every comment, and every share fuels a movement of people who refuse to be broken, held back, and who advance boldly toward the revelation of their destiny. Be part of this powerful circle. The world needs to see the chosen ones rise up, and your voice makes a difference. Participate, engage, and let's celebrate together the triumph that is already yours.